All right. So today's video is in response to a video by UX Uncensored. They have a video where they say the problem with UX education. So this is my response to their video about the problem with UX education. Okay. First, I'm going to say that I went to a UX boot camp. I really enjoyed my UX education. I feel confident that even today, I'm competent to perform the task as a junior and grow and gain experience to become more proficient. Learning UX and teaching UX is not unfathomable in my perspective, okay? So right off the top, I'm just going to say that there is no problem with UX education. What is the real problem in the UX industry I'm going to discuss next, okay? First, the politics of hiring junior designers. Almost all of the job posts for UX, even including internships, and I'm just going to be facetious here and say, they want you to have 1,000 years of experience. And due to this, the field will lack new blood. But of course, nobody cares because that's just a loophole in hiring discrimination, right? It's just a loophole for them to conduct hiring discrimination for tech companies and UX firms to discriminate against whoever they want, right? Because at some point, the field, to my knowledge of the history, started in 1993. So in 1993, between 1993 and 1998, nobody had 5 years of experience, right? They just created this field and they were working. So nobody doesn't get any experience in 1998. And it's a new field. So it probably doesn't become, the so-called 1,000-year experience requirement is probably fairly new. And I have to do another video. I think I've done other videos about, I calculated based on what they want you to have as far as experience, and you go to college or you do a boot camp or you do a combination of both, what age you would actually be when they hire you for that first junior job. So you got to understand that for a junior job, which is technically an entry level, you're doing a lot of errand work, they want you to have 5 years experience. But they're not really specific in the ad about what that 5 years experience has to be in. And again, as I said, I did another video where I explained that learning UX is not unfathomable. You can probably learning UX is easier than learning how to be a police officer. Okay? It's not unfathomable. It's not unteachable. If you don't know what unfathomable means, look up the word. The second thing is that the techniques in UX, let's be honest, they're antiquated. They're using the same shit since 1993. So if you're teaching the same shit, it's not because the education is messed up. It's because the field has not adopted new methodologies or new techniques to complete the processes required to solve the questions they're confronted with. Okay? The education isn't old. The field is old. The way you do things is old. And that is why, in my humble opinion, the user experience right now sucks. It sucks balls. And that's one of the reasons why I got into it. But more about that later. Next, number 3, do UX seniors even know their job today? Because the user experience sucks on major apps, on a lot of apps. Some of you can go into Google Play Store, and some of you can go into Apple Store, and there's a lot of apps as you go down the list from the top 2 or 3. A lot of apps that suck. They suck in appearance. They suck in features and functions. You know, they mess up your phone. Just a lot of stuff going on, right? So, do UX seniors even know their job? Because it seems like with the criteria to get in, the secondary things that all the job posts want, UX seniors or leads, 12, 15 years experience, but everything sucks. I'm going to do a series about that. I'm going to do a series called This App Sucks, okay? I use apps a lot, and they suck. For example, take Uber. The Uber app sucks because if the GPS is incorrect, my driver, for some reason, only wants to stick with that. And the GPS does not allow him to correct the GPS error. Now, I know you think, well, how often does that happen? Well, if you transpose the address, number, some streets are, some names of areas, or what you call, some name addresses can be street, avenue, place, or circle. So any of those incorrectly will take you to the wrong place. I know my LA people know this very well, but you can't change it. You just can't. When you get halfway there and you're like, this is the right place, you can't tell the driver will, for whatever reason, the app has them locked in that it's right, but it's incorrect. And they refuse to adapt. There's no adaptability. But there's many other things too, so, many other things. Why are all UX juniors Asian females? There's no diversity in this field. There's a lot of bigotry and discrimination. Taste-based preference is the elephant in the room. And this is the reason why modern UX is weak and lacking. You have a homogenized way of thinking. You have antiquated techniques, homogenized way of thinking, and people that don't like to have any creativity in their pinky finger at all. I know for a fact you guys at Netflix do not watch Netflix. I know for a fact. The UX people at Netflix do not watch Netflix. I know this for a fact. You can't tell me that you watch Netflix the way I watch Netflix. Does anybody remember they recently put up this little quick play thing? This little shuffle button? Really, they put up a shuffle button that they stole from an audio player. And it's supposed to be the quick way to find something to watch. And then you shuffle to the next program. And I was like, that looked like you just took, that looks like you have a beautiful castle. And you took a can of spray paint and sprayed fart all over it. Shh. Like, what was that? Who came up with that shit? I've been working on the app now for the last 4 years to solve the problem about finding something to watch on Netflix. And, I think it works. But one of the reasons I got into UX also was to learn how to make apps better. Learn how to apply these fundamental technologies. That problem I'm still working on. But the elephant in the room is taste-based preference, which goes back to why everybody needs to have 1,000 years of experience. Let's see here. No one, and I think I said this already, number 5 would be no one at UX Censored, no one at UX Uncensored looks like they are creative at all. They all behave like bureaucrats. You want to help the industry increase diversity for black men. Because let's be honest, diversity is about mental logic. Not only does the field lack diverse appearance, there's nothing to speak of in difference. There's nothing to speak of a difference in logic, kind of. Black men are at the helm of creativity, okay? Without going into the history of hip-hop, let's just say this. We took 2 turntables and a light dimmer, which is now known as a mixer, and created hip-hop. And hip-hop is $1 trillion business. and it stays evolving. We are the culture. If you can't put us into the tech culture, it's vanilla. And I know you guys don't care because it works, it functions, and nobody makes any noise about it. But let's be honest, we all know the truth. It's vanilla. It's vanilla. I don't know why there's so many Asian females in UX design. That I don't know. Maybe somebody can answer that question for me, honestly. Why are there so many UX juniors Asian females? They seem to get hired a lot. Lots. In comparison to other people who I feel have an innate creativity, have an innate understanding for building, have a way of making things, for lack of a better term, cool. Just not cool. Just not cool. Just not cool. But anyway, if UX Uncensored wants to change industry, they have to be logic. They have to be honest about the lack of mental logic in the industry. And from my perspective, what it is that, when you have a UX team, you guys probably be very close and chummy and blah, blah, blah. And you just got bigots. And bigots don't want to work with black men. Bigots don't want to hire black men. You got racial discrimination. You got discrimination, employment discrimination. Because you have to have a synergy. I get that part. You have to have a synergy. And hiring someone for a job is all about, do you want this person around? So obviously everybody wants Asian females around more than black men. I don't know what that, I know what that is, but I really want to answer as to why the field is so dominated with them, because they're not really creative at all. Like, these apps, man, they're all the same. You guys are using squares and fucking circles to a point of redundance. Like, there's other shapes. Everything's a white background. Everything is I forgot the terminology we use, but everything is a white background on a solid color. A solid color on a white background. Lastly, like I said earlier, UX is not unfathomable to learn and teach. It would appear that the main things, it would appear that the main things that not make a person a misanthrope are unfathomable. And I'm disgusted because looking in, all I see in UX is misanthrope people. So again, I'm going to start a series called This App Sucks, because I think that this is a bad joke. I don't believe that if the people who have all this experience are following the tenets of UX design, that they come up with this crap. They don't like people. That's why they come with this crap. They intentionally create these apps to frustrate you and keep you unsound, literally to drive you mad, because they want it to be sticky. Listen, if I'm going to hang around the app, I'm going to hang around the app. Whether it's not as sticky, it doesn't really matter to me. I'm going to hang around the app. You can't intentionally force someone to stay on the app by making the app crappy. That's ridiculous. And if that's a principle of the industry, then that may be a whole other topic of why it's messed up. Okay? It's like when you design, it's like these web designers, or whatever you want to refer to them. They allow pop-ups right now. We have pop-ups. We have overlays that you can't close unless you complete the call to action. How fair is that? Maybe I don't want to subscribe. Maybe I just want to read the article. I don't need a pop-up to tell me to subscribe. Let me read the article first, and if I find value in it, I will subscribe. But putting up an overlay and not letting me get by it, no way to get out of it except completing the action, and then I dump that action and I come back anyway. It's like, why are you doing this for? And I've been meaning to ask designers of websites, because I'm doing web design now too. I've been meaning to ask you guys, like, do you allow your client to put that into your element of design? Like, is that a client suggestion? Because if you're allowing that, you need to fire your client. That is very unethical. It's just unethical to create a website for the sole purpose of intentionally hampering my movement so that I buy something. Could it be that maybe I don't buy anything on the website because the products they have are just not any good, and that the website itself is not a good user experience? You didn't design it properly because you have no diversity in the mental logic. So, it's a lot of things. So that's my response to UX Uncensored. The problem is not the UX education. I wish they would stop blaming people who are so goddamn new to the field that they can't even have the type of impact. Okay? The problem is the industry. That's the real problem, the UX industry. The hiring, everything. The hiring, the methodologies, the using of antiquated techniques, all these catchy things they come up with, agile and all that shit, you need a portfolio, but you never really build anything. Anyway, because UX, let's be honest, we don't build stuff. Not like portfolio finished stuff. We don't do that. So how are you talking about a portfolio and you're a senior and you know that what I do has nothing to do with my portfolio? The completion of the project, after I do my part and the coders do their part and the designers do their part and then the other coders do their part. And then I do my part again. It's like people are doing putting case studies in their portfolio. Like a 2 people case study, okay, whatever, Oh, I designed the whole website by myself. I want to work on your team, but I don't really need to because I can do it all by myself. I'm a UX junior, but I can design the whole thing. I can do everything by myself. I can spend 80 hours a week by myself working with a pool of 250 people, a sample size. Come on, So that's the problem. The problem is not the education. The problem is the way the industry is run, and the reason why it's run like that is to keep people like me out. They want to keep people like me out so bad. They just keep putting up these blocks. So you got the experience, then you got the portfolio thing, then you got the behavior interviews, and so on and so on and so on. Where did you get your learn? Where did you learn from? A boot camp, or college, whatever. It's really just to keep the black man out. That's really what it is. So that's what I got to say today. I'll be back with some more, and I'm definitely going to work on this series called This App Sucks. I'm going to put it in real time for you. I'm going to go out here and use the apps, because I'm sick of this. If I hear one more thing about UX education being subpar, I am going to throw up on YouTube for real. I'm going to throw up on the camera. You guys are making me throw up. It is not education. It is you professionals in the industry. Stop blaming us new people and take responsibility and accept that you guys are really the imposters. Because obviously you can't teach us correctly. If education, either you can't teach us correctly or you don't know correctly. One of those is true. But I can learn. So that is true. Everybody can learn. That part is true. So one of those are true. Okay? That's all I got for today, guys. Talk to you later. Peace.